Welcome back, guys, to another great episode with your boy Eli.
And it's your boy Kelvin. What's up?
Yeah, we're back for another great episode. Well, what should be a great episode, depending on how our energies are. We are very tired today.
I am using. I'm close to using reserve energy. Like I still have like my normal energy for the day, but I'm this close to using my reserve energy for other stuff. And
hmm
it's I just have to do. I just recently did like an Instagram video for like a new venture that I am pursuing because job hunting at this point is not working out.
Man, Kelvin, this is. I know. I'm sorry. I'm doing some new hobby stuff. We'll get to that one
Yeah.
day.
Uh
Talk
huh.
about that. But let's talk about something fun. Let's
Yeah.
have ourselves a very chill episode. So, Kelvin, you like the
hmm
DC movies? Well, the animated ones,
I do. Yes.
because let's face it, the live action ones have been hit and miss.
Uh, I'd rather not talk about it.
We got a whole episode on that.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Dude, that was a whole episode. You guys can go check it out on our
Yeah.
YouTube, on our or the other place you can catch us
Uh
on.
huh.
Um, but we never really talked about the DC animated films
Yeah.
because unless you're really say a big enough nerd, you probably know about it. But if you don't, go check those out. Those are pretty good. But
Yeah.
now we're not going to talk about all the DC animated films that were out because like
Oh
there's
no,
too many.
it's a lot.
It's a lot. But we're basically going to talk about this whole little shared universe they did for the animated films. That's
Mm-hmm.
very much like what we saw with the Marvel movies and what we hoped that the DC films would have been.
Yes, I agree. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Like there was like a little awkward pause. No,
yeah. I was like, is he good? Are you good,
no,
Kelvin?
yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're so today we're gonna go into like pretty much the first
The,
half, if you will. Like we're gonna so there's a bunch of movies, right? And we're just gonna break down in a small, digestible little
these
bites.
these connected animated films that we have.
Yeah, we're gonna break
Because
it down. You're gonna break it down
if
for you.
I could talk all day about All Star Superman and how great that movie was and how they might have changed some stuff that I would personally not be okay with, but the way they turned out was pretty great. All Star
Yeah.
Superman, still
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. But no, we're like you said, we're gonna be over this a certain number.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's like what 15.
It's a good chunk. Yeah, it's like 15. Yeah, 15, 16 movies total.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over. We're gonna just cut one half. It's gonna be part one, and there's gonna be part two later after. So don't
Again,
worry.
digestible bites. So.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and plus we're just gonna be like bullet storming through most of these because like 7 movies. Oh my god.
It's a
Oh,
lot. It's a lot.
imagine if we did that for the Marvel movies, dude.
Oh, good lord! Not.
That's
Oh
like a
no,
four parter.
the Marvel movies, not, and that's not including the all the TV shows that are connected with it.
Well, it depends
Which
on which ones you consider to be connected, because apparently the Netflix ones were never connected. They just
so
alluded to.
the only ones that are connected so far, in my opinion, little side tangent, was probably Agent Carter, just because it's directly right after Captain America: The First Avenger.
Well, it's not directly after. It's a couple years. It's like 1 or 2 years, but
Well, I mean,
still,
like it's basically it takes place
it,
after
it,
the events.
it takes place after. Yeah,
Yeah,
the only one I
but
didn't work much was season 2, and I loved Agent Carter. Oh.
I
But anyways, yeah.
I will say
Let's.
this before we get started. I will say this: the ending pissed me off. I'm sorry, it
Oh,
pissed me
the
off.
season 2 of Agent Carter.
The final episode.
Oh, the one before it was canceled.
Yeah, it like the way they just
Oh yeah, no,
done
they. We can
done.
talk about canceled shows later because like Netflix just cancel. Netflix is known for canceling shows that are good, so let's not go in there. But
On to DC.
on to DC to bigger and brighter pastures, as they say.
Yes.
So this whole little universe started off with Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, which is a story that Kelvin knows very well because it's the only Flash story he knows.
Yes.
Kelvin, I don't blame you. There's not many Flash stories that
honestly, not
many
that's
comic book
that's
fans
notable. Yeah, that's
know about.
notable. Yeah, that people talk
Yeah,
about a lot. Yeah. So
that's why
basically,
it's overused so much
right.
because it's the
Basic.
only one they have.
Basically to wrap things up, and for even if you're not a big Flash fan, or even if you like never heard of this series, I mean it's been out for a while, but even if you haven't heard of it, basically the whole context is Barry Allen, uh
The
once
Flash.
again, the Flash is going
Faster
head
than light. Sorry,
is
how about
going is yeah is going head to head with one of his bigger nemesis, Doctor. I'm sorry, I know it's
Zoom?
Doctor.
No,
Yeah, or,
no,
I'm sorry, Professor Zoom. Yeah, Professor
it's not
Zoom.
Professor Zoom. Zoom is what
Well,
is
I
his
mean,
name?
I guess his actual villain
The
name,
evil speedster.
the Reverse Flash, if you will.
That's
The
the one.
rever-
That's the name.
the Reverse Flash. I mean, I thought he did go by Professor Zoom at one
No,
point.
there's two different ones, dude. It's different people.
Okay. Well, okay. So it's
If
reverse.
you go
It's
by the
the
TV show, they made it easier by giving them different outfits.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So going into just Flashpoint Paradox only. The Reverse Flash is one of the oldest, longest runnings, and well more notable like Flash supervillains. It's basically the Flash, but literally a like another speedster. Um, and they're going head to toe once again, but Barry ends up breaking not only he breaks the sound barrier, he breaks the
Basically, every speed barrier that there ever has been established.
every barrier that's known to man he's broken, and somehow he goes back in time and he actually saves his mother from being murdered.
Well, here's the thing. He wasn't against Zoom. It's more like Zoom just like tempted him to do it, and he did it.
Yeah,
So like it wasn't like I'm fighting Zoom and I'm running faster than him. No, no, no. Like Zoom
yeah,
was like, see, Barry, I'm glad you're a everyone, but there's always that one person you can never save.
and that kind of clicked in Barry's mind. It was like, all right, I'm gonna go save mom now, and then he so did.
I
But
have the power. I'm an antagonist that can break all limits. I broke the sound barrier. I broke the light barrier. I broke it all.
But
How does
what
that work?
Barry didn't realize is the consequences that would slowly trickle and
Yeah.
follow through because of his actions that he took
Mm-hmm.
of saving his mother. Obviously, he saves his mom, but with that changes everything started changing. Everything
Yeah,
started to change.
everything just went to shit real quick.
Uh, so to kind of
More than it should have been,
to
in my
kind of
personal opinion.
to kind of speed through the events, let's go like, and this is, and like I don't remember chronological order, but this is basically what
Oh, I
happened,
remember
right?
chronological order.
Yeah. So basically, in the alley where Bruce Wayne's parents were supposed to die or were supposed to get shot, it was actually Bruce Wayne who died. His mom Martha becomes the Joker, and his dad
Well,
takes Thomas Wayne.
she becomes the Joker because of the traumatization. The movie just goes. I'm someone who's read the book.
Yeah,
The movie just like goes through it quick speed. Like it's more like a reference than an actual
yeah,
thing. In the books, you see her go through this sort of traumatic order, like, oh, my baby's dead, kind of thing.
yeah.
So it all makes sense that she becomes their world's Joker, and
Mm-hmm.
in response, Thomas Wayne becomes um, the Batman of their
Batman,
universe. Also, Superman didn't get fined by the Kents; he got fined by the U.S. government.
and was used as a lab rat,
Well,
so to
more,
speak.
that's the easy explanation, but more like he never.
Experiment.
No, we don't know yet, but
Mm.
I can't remember in the books. But essentially, they just more or less test him like like you would think they would do in Area 51. Because in they it's more or less they try to see what he's about, and they just never realize, hey, if we let him out in the sun, we can actually see how his full potential. But really, they just keep him all isolated in a room where there
Mm-hmm.
is no sunlight. Because
Yeah.
remember, Superman is powered by the sun. He's eco-friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's
So.
also the joining of the Atlanteans and the Amazonians, which leads to the romance between Aquaman and Wonder Woman and
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. And yeah, that's the only one I can think of. Oh, and basically the whole world's gone to hell.
Yeah, and then at
Like
it was
World
at
War
the
Three
I,
times
I don't
100.
I don't know if this actually happened in the comics or not, but because Mira, Aquaman's wife,
Oh no, that
see,
happened, dude. That happened.
yeah,
That
so
happened.
Mira saw that and she's like, "Oh, that's my husband. I'm gonna fight you now." They fight to the death. Obviously, Shing, Wonder Woman,
It's a lot more gratuitous in the comic.
yeah,
Like they
Wonder
don't show
Woman.
again. They don't show the actual fight. But the way Wonder Woman's holding the head, it's like, oh,
It's clearly obvious.
damn,
It's like,
holy
okay,
shit.
well, yeah, like the first time I saw that, I'm like, well, damn. And then
Well,
so
yeah,
basic.
Wonder Woman is not afraid to kill.
No, yeah.
She's an Amazon warrior.
So
She'll kill when she has to.
So because of that, now Atlantis and Themyscira are at an all-out war, and yeah, basically World War III happens, and the whole world is basically on the brink of extinction between the two forces fighting each other.
Yeah. And Barry is the only one that remembers of the previous Earth, and essentially he's the only one who can try to like save it. The only way he
Mm-hmm.
can is by trying to get back his Speed Force powers, because
Yep.
apparently he lost because of time travel now it affects everything. He affects his powers. He never has the ability to do what
He basically never became the Flash.
he never became the Flash, and he
Yeah.
never got to meet the people he needs to. But he's the one who
Mm-hmm.
still has the memories of it because he's the one who triggered it.
Yep.
So in the movie, him and Thomas Wayne Batman try their best to reestablish his powers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we find out that Zoom is around and he is kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, I think we lasted too long on that story. It's a very it's a lot of things going on in this story. Holy shit!
It's a shit ton of things that happens, basically.
It's like you can't really talk about it without mentioning, oh, well, this happens, and also this happens, and also this happens. Also, they included a character that they bought from a different comic book company, and I was like, oh, oh shit, you actually went there.
Which character was
it?
it?
It was a pretty. I don't remember if Cyborg had a big role in the movie in the comics.
Cyborg was just basically like, I guess in a way, like he eventually became like the whole like the weapon to work for the government. So I guess
he wasn't the weapon. He was
not a weapon, but like
he was their superhero. He was their American superhero.
Yeah,
he was their Superman, since they have no Superman, and they didn't have a Green Lantern because Hal Jordan didn't find the ring. And all that stuff.
Yeah, pretty much so.
He was the only one willing to work with the government.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, little cool thing I found out. I don't know who voices Cyborg in the movie.
Shamar Moore.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It is Shamar Moore.
No, it's not.
Who is it?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, that's right. No, hold on though. But Shamar Moore did voice Cyborg at one point. I forgot which one, but he did.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this one specifically. I'm not saying Shamar Moore is a bad voice actor. I'm saying that this one's voiced by Michael B.
Jordan. Oh no, Michael. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, he did voice Flashpoint Paradox's Cyborg.
Yes. No, he voiced him through the whole thing.
No, I know. Yeah, he was the
I'm saying, Kelvin, is that the most nerdiest one of the most nerdiest dudes in Hollywood is in this movie. That's badass. Man likes himself some Dragon Ball Z.
Yep. Oh, another kind of interesting like celebrity fact. James Gunn is officially confirmed that James Gunn is a huge fan of the Kamen Rider series. Like, he started watching Kamen Rider recently and he got hooked. And he says, I want this to come to the US. And I'm like, oh.
It already did, and it failed.
What's up?
It did, and it failed.
Moving on next to the next film.
We don't have to talk about the next film, Kelvin. We got to talk about our thoughts on the movie itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kelvin, Kelvin, what are your thoughts on this? Just going by the story, we already know it's a very complex story. It comes from a very complex book.
Yeah.
And, well, let me ask you this, Kelvin. Do you know why the whole purpose of Flashpoint was in terms of the comics, and why they chose to adapt this movie?
I want to say just because.
Aside from the fact that it was a good story.
Yeah. Well, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. I don't know what else to think of. Yeah.
This was not only just a good story, but also an excuse to reboot their whole universe.
Okay.
So that's why at the end, things change, all this weird stuff happens, and which is why it leads to the New 52 universe, that one that we talked about before.
Yeah.
And that's why the next film that coincides with this is Justice League War.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's because the Justice League War was inspired by the New 52.
Which I know for sure after hearing from some friends that apparently that was, I don't know if it was was it New 52 Justice League or New 52 Titans that was like it was bad. Like the
I mean, depends on where you stand, really. I never got
yeah
into any of the New 52
yeah
stuff
uh-huh.
because let's release 52 new comics every week. I'm like, no, stop, god damn, my wallet,
uh
Jesus Christ, man.
I know I talked to one of my friends who's like a who's big in the DC comics. He's been like
Yeah.
all over he's been all over it for like a good while, and he told me, yeah, he told me specifically that that time that period, the New 52 Rebirth was bad.
So don't call it New 52 Rebirth. Rebirth is the follow up that
Okay, I'm
clears,
sorry. New 52 okay, let me rephrase that. New 52 he said New 52 was bad. Rebirth was yeah, the cleanup of New 52's mess.
Oh no, yeah.
yeah.
That's all. Like that's all. I was like, stop calling it New 52 Rebirth. That's what I called dumbass.
All right.
Because
But
so yeah, so that's the essentially the big purpose is why they chose this to be the first film.
mhm.
Now, given the context, it makes a lot more sense for me to give my full thoughts on this film. This is probably a good starting point if you want to just do a cleanup.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times you already know these characters. You already know who Aquaman is. You already know who Superman is. You already know who Batman is. You already know who Flash is. And this is essentially a Flash story. You don't tend to get a lot of those because, like we said earlier, Flash is a very he's a popular character, but there's not many notable stories from him.
Mhm.
Even like because at the end of the day, he just runs fast.
Yeah.
So not only is this a good way to know about Flash, it's also a great place to start off, letting you know, hey, I'm going back in time again, and I'm gonna fix stuff. You already see what happens when I go back in time, how everything gets just fucked over. Let's see me trying to fix that, and maybe something new happens. That's what we get, and
Yeah.
I think it's a fine story. Um, it's too complex for a what is it, a 2 hour movie or like an hour and a half?
I figured they try to smush a lot of things into like a
Oh, it
in a
is.
one into a particular time frame. It was a lot, you
Yeah, no,
know.
it's like basically an hour and a half, and it's a lot just to like to get in.
Yeah.
But I feel like they still were able to give us a very decent story for us to latch onto.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I mean, if I were to give it like a out of a 10, I would just give it a good 8.
It is.
Yeah. What about you, Kevin?
I give it a probably give it a seven probably give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Hmm. Yeah. So 7.5. Why so?
7.5 just because like I feel like there could have been more things to explain explain a lot better with the whole like obviously with Flash's action, yes, it does change the timeline altogether, but then like you said before, because it's so much squeezed into less than 2 hours of a film, and I'm pretty sure the comic, like the book, explained it a lot better
I
than
believe it was at least 5, maybe 6 issues. I'm trying to
yeah.
remember.
Hmm.
Let me just give it a quick Google search while you talk.
Yeah, but honestly, the seven just again because this is the only
Okay.
because it's the only known notable Flash story. Like this is all we can just base off of, really. So,
Hmm.
hmm
So I was right. It's a 5 issue series,
uh
so it's
huh,
just 5 books.
yeah,
Um, but I do remember seeing tie-in and stuff. So
hmm
usually anything involving yeah, there was some prelude, some the main series was 1 through 5. There was some other like mini series and all that stuff, little silence, and they try and it looks like they try to include some of that,
hmm
like like stuff about Green Lantern and Superman, and I'm just like,
hmm
why did you try to include any of those? And it just didn't really make sense. But no, yeah,
yeah,
it's 5 issues, so it's roughly. I mean, 5 issues can get you to like at least 2 hours of worth of reading,
hmm
maybe less if you speed read. If you
yeah,
just look at the pictures, like
hmm
I do sometimes. I mean, it's a good drawing, man. Some good drawings.
yeah,
But no, yeah, no, everything you said makes sense because it feels very not rushed. It
yeah.
feels nice, but
It's
there's
it's a
areas like
it's a nice smooth transition, but I feel like just like a lot of things could have been explained better. It
hey,
was like very smushed
I
and
want to know what happened to like what was that one character's name? I want to know what happened to Lex Luthor. He was pretty legit.
so.
He
Oh,
got taken
like
out like a punk ass bitch.
he. Oh no, like it was him. It was him. What do you call
Deathstroke,
it?
and some other
Yeah,
villains.
him, Deathstroke, Gorilla Grodd, and Black Manta. Oh yeah, they were wiped out
Well, Black
by.
Manta was part of the Aquaman crew.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Gorilla Grodd, Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, and no, that's it.
You're not. I mean,
I
you're
think
coming
no,
from
no,
all three.
it was the main three. Yeah, the others were just like grunts kind of deal. And yeah, they got wiped out by the Atlanteans.
Villains.
Deathstroke easily got wiped out by
Well, that's what they're like. Hey, let's get Deathstroke and let's get his original voice actor from the Teen Titans cartoon and have him do some cool stuff. And well, that's what we thought at first, and he gets taken on like a punk ass bitch. I'm like, no.
just one good old laser beam from Black Panther, boom, out, and they're like, what?
Well, I mean, it's Black Manta, so it's a little
Yeah,
different.
but I mean,
It's a little more
but still,
convincing.
like Deathstroke is a
Yeah,
trained assassin. Like he should know how to do the better.
man, you did that to Ron Perlman. Come on now, he was Hellboy.
Yeah,
Can't wait for that crossover.
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so I mean,
Um,
like Flashpoint, it's a pretty decent start. It's a good start
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Let's talk about the next movie. We're probably gonna go through this real quick because like most of these
Justice
movies are
League
kind of
War. Yeah.
yeah, Justice League War, which essentially it's like I said, it's their reboot. So it's like the origin
Mm-hmm.
story of the Justice League,
Yep.
and it's basically stuff's going on. Parademons are showing up. Parademons are like the big grunts for Apocalypse for Darkseid,
Dark
the
side.
big
Yeah.
bad, the Thanos of their universe, really.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Darkseid's a lot more stronger than Thanos, but
Mm.
essentially coming to invade Earth. They're they're out here trying to capture everybody, do what they got to do, and this is the moment where everyone has to come together.
Yep.
Everyone, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Shazam, Flash. Did I
Cyborg.
already say Superman?
You said Superman already.
Okay, Green Lantern. Who else?
Cyborg.
Cyborg. Which is how you know it was adapted by they inspired by New 52 because Cyborg was never a founding member of the Justice League. He
Mm-mm.
became founding member for the New 52 books.
That Cyborg was voiced by Shamar Moore. I remember. That's where it
There you
was.
go. There you go,
I
Calvin.
was like, wait a second. Wait, that's who it was.
There you go.
Shamar Moore voiced that Cyborg in Justice League War. And again, like just like Eli said, all the heroes are coming together. But of course, with teams coming together, they don't always get along first, especially Green Lantern and Batman, with Batman constantly screwing with Lantern, even though he's saying simple things, but he just constantly screws with him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment Green Lantern realizes, wait, you don't have any power, do you fly? No. What? Yeah, super strength? No. Are you just a rich guy in a? Are you just a rich guy in a bat costume? And like
Well, he
all
didn't have the rich guy. It was more like, are you just a guy in a costume?
and all bad. He didn't say anything. He just turns and smiles. That's it. And I'm like,
By the way, I
ah.
got your lantern ring.
It's like boom.
Which already I have a problem with that because if he took the ring, then that means he would have depowered in front of him.
Yeah.
But no, it was a little nice movie. It was basically a reason to get everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg, Shazam, all coming together and trying to save the day.
Yep.
And I'm being honest, it was
Is that?
it was I mean, Kelvin,
I
tell me the story.
so again, it's mostly here. It's mostly heroes coming together, and of course they have their own
I mean,
little.
give me beat by beat what the story was.
So it's like again, it's one by one in which each of the heroes are like introduced and like their origin stories and such.
Mm.
But the way some of the heroes were introduced, it's like it was kind of like it was kind of like a cheap shortcut to me. Like the whole
Well,
it
Kelvin, that's what I'm trying to say.
to me it felt like a cheap shortcut to introduce some of the
So,
heroes, not all of them, but
Kelvin, this is where you got to understand what I'm trying to say. This is where we have to already know that this is just the origin of the Justice League,
yeah.
not the origins of each superhero.
No, no,
It's
no.
the
I'm
origins
saying
of the
no,
Justice
yeah,
League, where
yeah,
all it is the reason why they just come together.
yeah.
That's it. We don't really get much of character interactions between each of the characters, which is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to say. And I think you were trying to find the right words to say, because essentially the story boils down to, hey, I'm Batman. Hey, you're Superman. Hey, there's a bunch of like parademons out there, flying monsters and shit.
Yeah.
You just want to team up? Yeah, let's team up. And then it
Yeah.
just proceed, and then from there it's just proceeding fight after fight after fight after fight after fight until they eventually fight. It's like you're speedrunning through a Dark Souls game, and you're just fighting and fighting until you get to the big boss, and you gotta fight your way
Yeah.
to say that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all it is. It's because there's no real. Not saying there's stakes. Actually, there is no stakes because like there's really barely any attachment aside from like maybe two characters,
Yeah.
which was Cyborg and Shazam, Billy Batson, because they're the only ones that actually kind of like each other. Because
Yeah.
Billy Batson was shown to be, hey Vic, I know you're a big quarterback, and I'm your biggest fan. Like,
Yeah.
like that's all I am. I'm your biggest fan. I
He was
don't want to
he
be.
was he was basically Cyborg's fanboy,
No, that's what he
essentially.
was. That's what he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like he was basically no, he was,
Yeah.
he was,
Mm-hmm.
and like you get Cyborg, you see his horrific, fucked
Accident.
up way of accident,
Yeah.
and then his becoming into Cyborg, how he deals with it, and Billy Batson being the fan he is, like, dude, you're still a badass. You got superpowers? Look at me, I got superpowers too. Come on, man, this could be the big team up. Let's do it. Come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
And literally, they're the only like thing I liked about the movie because the rest of it was just like, let's fight, 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 fight. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole big rescue Superman, but I'm like, it's Batman. You know, there's no point.
Yeah.
You already know it's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the ultimate plot armor because he's just a lovable hero for DC, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I mean that's why personally for me, I just give it like a 5.
5.
Yeah.
I also give it a 5 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because now that I gave you the explanation, you're like, damn, he's right.
Yeah.
because I see it in your eyes, like, damn.
I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you on how, like, the Justice
Yeah.
League came together, and I don't disagree with you at all. And it's like, again, it was just like, again, it's like, even if it wasn't like the character interaction, but again, just just the heroes coming together, it felt like a cheap shortcut. Just to get the team established, and it's like, oh, hey, we have a common enemy, this big bad dude that's sitting in front of us, floating in front of us, even.
Which is right now, this is how it works in the comics. Whenever there's a big team up, it's not like rarely is there much of a character interactions. You already have to know these established characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, perfect example I can think off the top of my head was the most recent Avengers book that came out, like, 2 years ago, where like it's literally just shows all these different characters. They show off Batman, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, She-Hulk's just somewhere in the streets walking around doing her own thing. Doctor Strange is like sensing something out in the space, and Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is just fixing up his car. Then all of a sudden, these big giant monsters show up in the sky, and they're like, "Oh, looks like we gotta go to work." And they just happen to run into each other. They're like, "You want to team up? You want to team up? All right, let's team up. Let's go fight these big giant monsters." That's the end of the first book. That's basically what we got here.
Yeah.
And it's fine if it's a comic, because you already know who Captain America is from reading like whatever book you can read.
Yeah.
You already know who Thor is.
Yeah.
You already know who Batman is. So, and you already know who Superman is. So you just seeing them together should be just already be like, yo, wait, they're teaming up? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yo, Batman and Superman? This new iteration where Superman's a little more meaner, Batman's a little more nicer? What's going to happen? Oh, wait, what's going to happen? Because that's basically the whole team dynamic when it comes to books. It's more like,
yeah,
you already know these characters. Let's see how they bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
Here, we barely even know that much about them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it kind of gives
but the whole idea, basically the whole idea of the team up, the whole idea of the team up of heroes coming together.
The thing that you'd be excited about.
Yeah, the heroes coming together for one common goal and everything like that. Yeah.
But like, the fact, but you said it first, like it just feels cheap.
No, yeah, it still does, yeah,
Because I'm gonna say in the books, in the comics, it makes sense because like you already know these established characters.
yeah.
That's why
But
like
then
the go ahead.
yeah. So, but like in the film though, or just like movies in general, like it's yeah, it just felt really it just felt really cheap, felt like really dry. It wasn't genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not excited, you're not hyped up that all the heroes are getting together. It's like, oh, all right, I already know who these guys are, and then the moment they team up, it's like it's nothing spectacular or anything. So
Yeah, it just
mhm.
feels like all right, we're getting right together. And
Yeah,
I think it's one of the reasons why I always look at the first Avengers movie like so
hmm
well
yeah,
because we had that establishment with all the past characters.
yeah.
We're like we how many we got two Iron Man movies, one Thor, one Captain America, one Hulk, and so when they come together, it's like
Before Avengers.
yeah, the first one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
I like wait, give me a minute, gotta make sure. Yeah, you're
no,
right, you're right,
no,
you're right.
yeah.
I was like
No.
wait, before there was like two
Also,
Captain America movies.
also, just because I've been watching, I've actually been watching, like Marvel. I've been Marvel marathoning like the whole thing, and now I think I'm caught up to Agents of Shield now. But like, yeah, leading up to Avengers is like it makes sense to have individual films so that you get to know the characters, and by the time it came together, it's like, oh snap, shit's about to go down. You know.
Yeah, that's why. And when you get that, like, say, like the conversation between Cap and Iron Man, like you just a man in the suit and whatever. Yeah, you know how it means. So like,
Oh
and then you get
yeah.
that whole yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
oh yeah, yeah. You're
That feels
yeah.
not that feels good because like
You're just a man just in a suit. Take that away. What you get? Billionaire playboy, billionaire billionaire playboy, entrepreneur, philanthropist,
now I got him.
philanthropist, and then
Yeah,
even Black Widow's like even Black Widow's acknowledgement is like, yeah, that's he's not wrong.
yeah. And it's like I mean, like you having established at least two movies with Iron Man and a movie with Cap,
hmm
that felt genuine because Cap was all about. He didn't rely on all this tech. He was a man. He was a man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
He relied on his skills.
hmm
But and like here, if you already know who these are, it's just fine. Seeing them team up is like, oh, that's cool. And I think we're not the only ones. It looks like they got a 50% on this one.
Mm,
So yeah, no surprise there,
yeah.
because it just felt very by the numbers.
hmm
All right, Kelvin, what's the next movie we got to talk about?
Moving on to Justice League. Oh no, I'm sorry. Haha, Son of Batman.
Yes, the introduction of Batman's son,
Damian
Damian Wayne,
Wayne.
probably the most hated Robin in all of history.
Yeah, he's Damian Wayne to me is basically Damian Wayne to me is basically
Every entitled little kid.
uh yes, and then specifically a specific reference Boruto in the Naruto series. Yeah.
Why do you gotta insult Boruto like that?
I'm sorry, but like I know Boruto, like I've been hearing Boruto is getting better, but when he was first introduced, I hated him. But
Yeah,
again,
I did too.
sanitation on that.
Look, Kelvin, I'm gonna tell you the whole point of his character is that he has to live under the shadow of his father, who we've
Yeah,
already grown up to know.
yeah,
So seeing him react to a character we've seen grow up, it's like, why you gotta be a little shit?
yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
he himself has good reasons. He's a very talented kid,
Mm,
but like, no, why you gotta be talking to your dad like that, bro?
yeah,
That like, have you seen the shit he went through?
yeah.
Fucking fatherless, motherless. Somehow was very athletic, despite the fact that all he did was eat ramen 24 hours a day.
Jesus. Um,
But no, it's but I get what you're saying. It's
yeah.
sort of like entitlement, but
Conceived by
I'll say this:
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Damian Wayne in these animated films is a much better character in the comics.
Hmm.
Because here's the thing: you can at least sympathize with Damian Wayne in these movies.
Yeah.
In the comics, depending on who's writing them, he's a complete psychopath. God damn, that man does. That man is just evil in the making.
yeah.
He's Damien. Oh my god, he's literally Damien from The Omen.
Mm.
Wait, have you seen The Omen?
I don't believe I have.
It's basically it's he's the Antichrist.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All
Damien
right.
and the Omen is the Antichrist. That's
I
what
mean,
they are.
I can honestly see that those two
Yeah, I
connecting
mean,
together, so
funny
that
thing
makes
is,
a lot of sense.
I think in one book there was a that said that if Damien ever became Batman, it'd be hell on earth.
Oh no, yeah.
But no, but essentially, but thankfully they were trying to pull away from him being like a bit of a psychopath in the books, and
Yeah,
here he's a little more. He grows on you.
yeah.
He's still a little shit, but he grows on you.
He he's basically a little he's basically a little shit in like the first couple of films, but then like once he gets to Teen Titans, it's like okay, you kind of
Oh,
like
he
him
has
better.
friends.
Yeah.
He never had friends. All he needs are
No,
some friends.
all he was trained by Ra's al Ghul and his mother, or basically Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul, but from the League of
League of Assassins.
Assassins, League of Assassins, trained all his life, and was secretly but not so secretly conceived by Talia, his
Oh, it was
Ra's al
secret,
Ghul,
dude. Batman looked at that lady like,
by Ra's al Ghul, and then pretty much.
no. Batman looked at Talia like, when did
Oh,
this happen?
but
Oh,
also I don't know if
remember that one night in Paris? Oh.
I don't know if that happened in the comics, but in the movie it's like, oh hey, here's your son, and he's like, oh okay, so
No. You gotta remember, Batman likes to keep himself reserved. He doesn't like to show a lot of reactions.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure on the inside, oh my god, all the alimony I gotta pay. All the child support. Holy shit. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
and
No,
Batman's entire world gets
it's
flipped
the same.
upside down.
It's the same in the books I recall.
Uh
It's like he's like, what? When did this happen? Again,
huh.
you remember that night in Paris? Oh
Yeah.
no.
So
Alfred, you were right. That condom doesn't work.
so yeah, basically,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Yeah, when Damon's introduced, Batman's entire world gets flipped upside down because now he has, an act like
Man,
a son.
you made Damien sound like he's the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Pretty much. I mean, it's essentially, and the way, obviously, because of their relationship and because of their different personalities, they get off to a rocky start, of course, because Damien, he just wants to go out on his own and proves
He wants to
he's
get revenge for his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul,
death.
on who was killed by Deathstroke. Which,
Yes,
can I just say how fucked up that is already? This is our first introduction in this universe to Ra's al Ghul.
and he
Who's
gets
like,
burnt. He gets burnt alive like a piece of chicken.
I'm gonna say beef jerky, but sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's more accurate. Like yeah, he gets burnt alive like crispy.
Like he like
That
bites
boy,
his skin kind of thing.
that
That's
boy,
where man Randy Savage came in and be like,
that boy Ra's al Ghul is crispy now. And
yeah,
and
essentially.
apparently the Lazarus Pets can't even bring back beef jerky from
Oh no,
to
it
the
can.
living.
It
They
can.
can, but then
Like but
top,
so long as the spirit is there, but he ain't there no more.
yeah. So
But essentially, this is essentially the origin of their relationship with Damien, and essentially, this is the start of like what is going to be eventually a very rocky relationship between Batman and his son. And of course, we also get the arrival of Nightwing. Yeah, everyone's favorite Batman son because he was the first
yeah,
and the coolest. Sorry, Jason Todd.
and one of the most popular ones.
Well, that's what I mean by the coolest.
Mm-hmm.
The first one you think of too.
Yeah.
And essentially, from what I recall, it's just basically just them all trying. Batman is trying to make sure Damien is straight in the right path, even though he was raised by the League of Assassins, who are, as the name says, a bunch of assassins who are ready to kill a motherfucker.
But yeah, so yeah, but basically, Damien
raised by
yeah,
Ra's al Ghul, who
yeah.
is, like you said, the baddest of the bad, and yet he gets taken out like a
punk bitch.
Yeah, punk bitch. Again, why? But no, essentially, it kind of rolls down to being, Damien wants to, get revenge on his grandfather on Death by killing Deathstroke. That his good old Batman, moral code and all that stuff, tries his best to steer him in the right path. It's the best way he can do.
You don't cross that line.
yeah, he and it's essentially it's the journey for Damien to find his own path while and
Mm-hmm.
honoring his dad, even though
Yeah.
he was raised by these assassins.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kelvin, what you got any more thoughts on this film?
No, honestly, like for this particular movie, I felt like this was a good introduction to Damien. Again, we do know the both of us, and fans of whoever are fans of Damien, they pretty much know who he is, who he will eventually grow into, kind of deal. So
Hmm.
I figured this is definitely a good start for like kind of like their relationship and whatnot.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, and I 100% agree. It's a very good start for Damien.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a good start of knowing our Batman
Yep.
because this is his first solo outing in this anime universe,
Yep.
and also nice look into Nightwing, see what he's up to.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, we will not get Jason Todd or any of the other Robins.
No, or yeah, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, not to be
Hmm.
seen for a good while. Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is sad because I would have liked to see Jason Todd react to all this,
Mm-hmm.
especially since like they've been doing a lot of stuff with him recently
Yeah.
in the comics. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's you know it's a very okay story.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to give it a rating right now, it'd probably be just a 7. It's
Yeah.
just a solid 7.
Yeah. I'd also give it a 7 as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I can't think of anything bad about it because it was just very. It's very by the. I wouldn't say by the numbers, but it's it gets you long going. It's a nice break every now
It
movie
it
to watch
me-
every
it
once.
it meets not necessarily it meets the requirements, but more of like, okay, it it tells a story all the way through without leaving any potholes, without leaving like any of
Well,
the
I don't
details.
mean in that sense. What I mean is like
No,
it's
no.
very
I'm
good.
saying for me,
Yeah.
like what, like for me, like the like I guess my reasoning for my rating of a 7.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, it's yeah. Again, for me, it's more of like it tells a story. It doesn't leave any plot holes. It doesn't over tells any details that we already know of or details we might not know of. But it
Hmm.
tells a story all the way through as it should be. So yeah.
And it depends on how engaging that story is and how that story works around all of it. Whether or not it be
Mm-hmm.
with potholes or anything, I think it depends on how that story is told. I think that's
Yeah.
why I give it a 7 because it's just a straightforward story, nothing big,
Yeah.
nothing complex. It's just fine. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
fine story you can get through. You can watch every
Yes.
once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know if I watched like twice because I was like, wait, did I miss anything? Nah, it's just as I thought it was. It was pretty
Mm-hmm.
okay. So the next movie we have on here, and I think we're almost done.
Yeah,
We got like three
we're
more movies
probably
to go.
like a third or close to halfway through. Yeah.
Mhm.
Next is Justice League: Throne of Atlantis, and
Yeah,
now
and this is their. Oh, you were saying something, Kellen?
I was gonna say now we're going into kind of like so to speak the origin story of what do you call it,
Arthur
of
Curry.
Aquaman. Of what?
Arthur Curry.
Yeah, Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, who is, I think he was also he was supposed to eventually be like, I guess in the comics, an original founding member of the League, right? Or because it wasn't supposed to be Cyborg, it was
You
supposed to
mean
be Aquaman.
original or New 52 original?
Original.
Nope.
Okay, I guess so. Okay, so
Or
New
was it?
Fifty
I
Two,
can't remember.
yeah, was maybe New 52 then? I don't know.
It was New 52. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So basically, again, origin story of Arthur Curry, how he lived his life in pretty much on land, even though like he sort of knew the whole time that he belonged to the sea, but didn't know how until Mira, his eventual wife, would come to the surface and eventually would tell him, "Oh, hey, you're next in line for the throne." Arthur Curry thinks she's some crazy broad or whatever, but
So, original
yeah.
lineup of Justice League was Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Green Lantern, and that's it.
Mm, gotcha.
Because not now, I remember, because they were like the known, like they were the number, they were the guys that never really got sales.
Mm.
So, because Batman, and Superman never showed up as the Justice League. It
Ah, gotcha.
wasn't until later. Because like, why don't we have the two best heroes as part of the Justice League? Why don't we have that?
Mm.
And, yeah, it was Aquaman. It was Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Flash,
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter fighting off against Starro.
Mm.
Why didn't we get Starro? Man, that would have been badass.
That what actually, you know what? Okay, backtrack a little bit. There was actually one scene where there was it was that famous scene where they were fighting Starro, and that the timeline it changed to where it ended up being Martian Manhunter fighting Starro when the timeline changed. There was a scene in Flashpoint Paradox that was like that.
No,
Because
yeah,
I don't.
that's the point. That's the point I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
slight changes.
Yeah.
Also, we can talk about that another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Throne of Atlantis, the origin story, as you said, of Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically, kind of like what you saw in the live action movie, but a little more like, hey, we also got Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and all of them involved.
Yeah.
Except for maybe, I think there was one character that was in the first movie that wasn't in it. Who was it? Cyborg was in there. Know that.
Cyborg was in there.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong because it's been a while since
Mm.
I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
But it's another run. It's another by the numbers kind of movie. That
Yeah.
you don't really expect much from it, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because it's essentially, like I said, have you seen the live action movie? It's basically that. Just now we're also adding on the
The
Justice League.
the rest of the league, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the league before he actually joins into it.
Mm-hmm. and
And
uh, and he's fighting, I guess, his half brother, so to speak, or
yeah, Ocean Master Orm,
Ocean Master,
and
and
also Black Manta was in it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's very fun. It
Yeah,
was it was just an alright movie, in my opinion. I can't really remember much about it.
there wasn't there for sure wasn't any memorable moments I can remember from it. It's just more of like, okay, it's just okay, cool. We get to know who Aquaman is. We get to know how he eventually becomes Aquaman. He discovers powers which he kind of had already, but it's like, oh, now it's awakened.
He
Sort of.
never knew where it came from.
He never knew where it came from. Like he knew he had these powers. He knew he could talk to sea life, but didn't know where it comes
Okay,
from.
you know what? I take it back. I do remember one scene, the scene where he fought for that lobster.
Yeah.
Like he's
Okay.
just sitting there looking at this tank of a lobster, and he's like, "Dude, man, what's the point of
And,
buying this thing?"
and he's drunk.
And then
And he's
someone comes
drunk
in
as
like, "Okay, someone bought this lobster. Now we're just gonna
and
serve
then
it."
he and
No,
then cut. Hey,
he's like,
he's not dinner. He's back off.
"He's my friend."
And Arthur Curry is, of course, in his drunken state, just downing a bottle of alcohol, and he's just, yeah. And eventually lets him go. He's like, "There you go, little buddy." Clips the little bands off of him, just lets him go into the ocean. It's like, there you go,
What
friend.
he
You're
didn't
free
know is
now.
that what we didn't know is that lobster wanted to die. It's like I waited years to be eaten.
uh,
Hey, my wife. It's over, man. There's no point in living. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah.
it sets literally all it is because it's just it basically runs like the movie. So if you've seen the
Mm-hmm.
movie, I think you'd just be fine.
Yeah.
Is but this is what I mean. Like it's a very fine. This is what I mean by when we're talking about sort of Batman. That it's a very like you know point A to point B story. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, no plot holes on stuff, but it's still not an engaging story. You
Mm-hmm.
can have a story without plot holes and all that other stuff. It's just is whether or not it's an engaging. And then for me, it wasn't. It doesn't do a good job of showing
I did.
off.
I think for sure I didn't get hooked onto it, especially knowing it's like, okay, like very almost kind of very similar to Flash, to where, like, like there's only either one or very few known, stories, or with
Well,
the
you also have to
character.
remember people have been trying to make Aquaman cool because like every
He was
other
considered like the lame. He was considered one of
he
the
was
lamest
considered
heroes.
if you never read a Aquaman book, you would
Yeah.
always consider him to be the lame superhero because of the talking to fish thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
If you ever read a comic book of Aquaman, you'd be like, oh no, he's actually a badass. like he can go toe to toe with Superman.
So a live, I don't know, like a live incarnation of, was it King Neptune or whatever, or
Well, they're basically
Poseidon?
the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
Well,
again,
maybe it's more like, hey, he's actually able to do a lot of stuff. You
yeah,
know, hey, yeah, he
that,
can control water, but he needs to be next to water.
yeah,
No, he can just be like water in the air, spear water,
boom. Yeah.
Yeah, basically he can make a waterbender from like Avatar: Last Airbender look like a piece of like what's the best word to what's
Amateur.
the best? No. Like it makes a waterbender look like kid stuff. Also, you got to remember his strength comes because he's used to the pressure of the water, where it's like, listen, if you a normal human Kelvin were to go as deep as Aquaman could go,
Boom.
that's it.
Yeah. Unless I have like a
No, even that he
yeah.
would still go because
Yeah.
Aquaman can go all the way down.
Yeah.
He has a good resiliency, that man.
Practically the seafloor, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the deepest thing you could ever see, the marine
Mm-hmm.
trench and all that shit. But no, it's personally I'd give it it's like I said, I feel like the live action movie did it better.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a fine story. I like me, like you, Kevin. You can't go over the story because like there was barely anything you can remember about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I watched it a couple times, but it's just there's no moments that I can just grab from it.
Well,
It's
and
like, oh
even it has nothing to do with the moments. It's more like
yeah.
it's very, you know, by the numbers.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, you get it. It's Aquaman. He goes through this stuff. He finds out he's Aquaman, or like he's part, merfolk, whatever, Atlantean,
Party Atlantean,
and
yeah.
now he's gotta go reclaim his throne for
Mm-hmm.
his mother. Actually, that's the one thing I'll give it. I'll give it over the movie. They actually decided to actually kill the mother.
Mm.
Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So essentially, yeah, no, I probably just give it a 5. You, Kelvin?
Probably give it a 4. Probably give it a 4. Just again, just because yeah, it's not a bad story, but there was just nothing. There's no there's no like like I guess like major plot or like yeah, there's no major plot or moment that I
Well, there's a
saw
major
that.
plot. It's just you don't
I
feel
mean,
invested.
yeah, I don't feel as invested into the film. Yeah, that's the better word. I don't feel invested into the film as some of the other movies that I've seen so far, and
Yeah,
it's just more of like
you can just walk off and you'll be fine.
yeah,
You can
I
walk out of the movie and just be like, did I need to watch that?
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Hmm. On a side note with that, I'm glad I did not watch the Incredible Hulk because I saw that
What do
was
you
it
mean?
was complete. What's up?
Which one? Which Incredible Hulk?
The live action Incredible Hulk. There was I was
I like where they were going.
I'm reading this guide, and I'm reading this guide of like which order to watch, like in chronological order of which to watch the Marvel movies and TV shows in, and it's saying, oh yeah, Hulk, yeah, it's not necessary. You can just go ahead and
Oh
skip that
no, it is
in.
necessary.
Yeah,
It is actually necessary. It's
really.
not as necessary as the other ones, but it's necessary to
Mm,
understand the Hulk's whole thing. The problem
yeah.
with that movie is, and is entirely on tangent, is that the what is the actor's name for that movie? I can't remember. The guy who played the Hulk, Edward Norton,
Edward Norton.
really
Yeah.
wanted to go into more of the psychological. Like, let me ask you this, Coven. What do you know about the Hulk as a character?
I know. I know from the comics. I know for sure he was a
No,
scientist.
like his character, not the stuff that happens to him. His character.
What do you mean? Like just okay? Wait, as like Bruce Banner or
Yeah, Bruce as is the character of Bruce Banner and the
uh
character
huh.
of the Hulk. What is his character?
Uh, Bruce Banner is just your was it Bruce Banner is. Well, let me start, and then you're already like shaking your head like
Because I can already tell where this is going.
okay. Bruce Banner is just your average type of meal. Not what's it called?
Scientist.
Average old scientist. He's studying, or his specific studying is in gamma radiation, and
Uh huh.
during a I guess a launch experiment, it was was it it was during a launch experiment,
Hmm.
and I believe something went wrong. He tried to run out, but then they didn't realize Banner was out in the field, so they launched the rocket, which I believe one of his coworker or one of his colleagues, or he tried to push a colleague of his was in the blast zone. He pushed him out of the way, gets caught in the blast, and gets exposed to gamma radiation, which should have killed him. But
Uh, you got you gave me more of like what happened to Bruce Banner. You didn't give me his actual character.
Yeah.
What is his character about? What issues
Uh
does he go through?
oh, was it anger management, right?
What is the cause of the anger management?
Copious amounts of stress
That's one reason.
and
No, that's not the whole
copious
reason.
amounts of copious amounts of stress and the whole I mean
Well,
that's
this
all
is
I
what
can think of.
this is
That's
what
all I
I'm
can think
saying.
of.
This is what I'm saying. When I mean character, I mean what is the character about? What does he go through? You just gave me like stuff that happens to him. What I mean is the Incredible Hulk. The reason Banner becomes the Hulk is because of childhood trauma. That is the big thing. It's a split personality issue that he has. When his anger is because of his childhood trauma that he had with his abusive father, the death of his mother. That's why whenever the Hulk talks, he talks like a little kid because that's his childhood trauma manifested in. That's why he has these different
Oh.
colors because each one is a representation of his trauma
Mm,
or basically an aspect of an issue that he had. Joe
mm,
Fixit, the Gray Hulk, is more of like, hey, this is like your ego taking form.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That is his character.
Mm,
Bruce Banner is this sort of quiet, meek kind of guy because of the amount of shit that's happened to him. That's why you know Thunderbolt Ross is this big guy talking shit to him. He's like, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir," because he's so used to that abuse.
mm,
That is the character.
mm.
Which is why I'm like, this is why I was giving you like, Kelvin, because I know where you're going, but you're just more or less stating what the character, what happened to the character. Was said actually, what is the character?
Mm.
Are you okay? You look annoyed.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, but don't worry, I might shorten this whole conversation down. But
Yeah.
no, that is, but essentially the character itself of Bruce Banner is a little more complicated than what the movies try to do.
Yeah.
They just gave him the whole like nerdy scientist thing, but it's more like, no, let's explore his psyche kind of shit. I
Yeah.
think there's a book where there was one of his most famous stories is like him sitting in a psychiatrist room talking to his different multiple personalities issue.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty much again, bringing it back to the, to Justice League, Throne of Atlantis. I feel like similar to the Hulk, similar to like the Incredible Hulk. It's kind of like the movie where you can watch part of it and you can walk away kind of knowing what's it about, and then that's pretty much. And
Mhm.
you can still be caught up. You can still be caught up with like
Yeah, you don't
with
need it.
everything.
You don't need to see it
It's not
for.
necessary to watch it. Yeah.
No, it's not necessary to watch. You can watch it for your own enjoyment, which I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Which is why I give it a 5 because like if we're being critical, it's not really that great, but you can watch it out of enjoyment. That's why I give it a
Hmm.
5.
Yeah.
Like it's really if because as we're gonna see later, this is all gonna culminate to one big thing. And when you think about it, Throne of Atlantis is just kind of like that one odd denominator. You can see them making more,
Yeah.
which is like I'd rather not get to it.
Yeah.
Sadly, the Hulk also got that too.
Yeah. So moving on to our next film. This is the next one in the Damien, so to speak, in the Damien saga, Batman versus Robin. So this is when Robin is slowly transitioning into the whole like. I mean, he was already rebellious when we first met him, right? He was
Yeah.
pretty much already a little shit, but now
Well, in this one, he's less of a little shit as he was in the first one.
he's more or less manifesting his training, his killer instincts into a whole
Yeah.
like when he meets an assassin who goes by the
This
name.
is where he starts having issues with Batman's moral code,
Yeah.
which makes sense
Yeah.
because if you're raised by assassins, you're like, you gotta kill, dude. You
I'm
gotta
I'm
kill.
trying to I'm trying to kill. Like if I have a target, I'm going to kill that target. And
If I
then
have listen, and this person is gonna continue doing bad, I have no choice but to
I'm
end
gonna
it.
I'm gonna off him. Yeah.
I'm going to
And
off him.
yeah, and essentially, again, like Eli saying, it clashes with Batman's moral code of the whole. Okay, you can beat him to a bloody pulp, but never to like
To death.
to death or murder or anything like that, or just cold blooded murder. So those ideas
You're not
clash. The ideals clash, and then he eventually runs into a group, um, uh, accurately not accurately portrayed, but accurately named the Court of Owls, which is basically is like a is ba- the Court of Owls is an eccentric group of Gotham's
elite.
wealthy, Gotham's elite, Gotham's wealthiest billionaires, and which their leader is, I think, the Grand Master.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Grandmaster.
yeah, the Grand Master, um, who has
Very eyes wide shut without all the nudes, really.
yeah. hmm So and again, this ties into the whole our conflict with our internal conflict. I would say between Damien, which path to follow. The path that he was trained for all his entire life for, or to actually follow his dad in to not to kill.
Mm.
And I felt like I felt like the introduction of Talon, who was the assassin, was it's a good character for sure, because it's basically two opposing forces, that were meant to really put Damien to the test in the whole,
Mm.
which side is better, which side is their version of justice, so to speak, with their version of justice, vengeance, and things of that matter. So
I always find out how Talon looks very much like Hawkeye's Ronin outfit.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
I'm wondering if they were made by the same artist. We don't. I don't feel like looking that
Yeah.
up yet. But
Um, but honestly, with what do you call with Batman versus Robin, Nightwing comes back. You do see a little bit more of Nightwing, and of course, but yeah, so to speak, because he's more of just like kind of like the ally of Batman. That's he pretty much helps Batman in all the fights. And my god, my dude, Alfred comes in. Oh,
well,
oh,
wait till the next one. That's where I was like, hell yeah, that's my boy Alfred.
yeah. A lot of people, who knows Alfred Pennyworth as, like, yes, he's just Batman's butler, but like
If you read the comics,
he's more than that. He's way more than that.
he was a former soldier
hmm
in World War II.
Yeah. Aren't they creating like aren't they developing a series called Pennyworth? I believe it's like a live
For
action.
TV, yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
already out.
Is it?
I think so.
I haven't seen.
I don't
I
know.
haven't seen.
I
I
didn't feel
haven't
like
seen.
watching because I was like, I don't
I
know.
haven't seen trailers of it. But anyways,
No,
but
that's I'm sure it's
Alfred,
out.
yeah,
Heck,
Alfred
go ahead.
in this though, in this series, or in this particular movie, oh my god, the way he just easily offs like the Talon's grunts with a shotgun, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah, he used to be a hunter.
No, I know, which is why seeing that now, and I'm like, yeah, you don't fuck
Listen,
with Pennyworth.
if you just because he's Batman's butler doesn't mean he knows how to fight.
Oh no,
In one version,
he knows how to fight. Yeah, I know it.
one version. Me and my brother always talk about this one version of Alfred where he was a former MI6 agent, and I was like, wait,
I can
are
believe
you telling
that.
me? Are you telling me Alfred you might have been James Bond? That would make so much sense. Batman was trained by James Bond himself.
Yeah,
That's why he can get all the ladies. That's why he has all the gear.
yeah.
He's James Bond. Think about it.
He's oh, I want to say he's the he's James Bond and the weapons tech guy, or he's the
You,
weapons
you,
tech guy. Q, yeah. He's
yeah.
he's. I was like,
Alex,
wait. I remember now, yeah, because M is the boss, and
and
then
his brother. Yeah,
yeah, and Q is the tech guy, yeah,
yeah. No, it
the
was
tech whiz,
no, but
yeah,
like the one thing I will say about this movie is that it really tries to grow on the whole Batman Damian Wayne relationship. Like
yeah,
he Batman tries to, you know, build a good relationship with his son, which is
Mhm.
something that you don't tend to see a lot in these comics. Just his relationship with his son. You tend to see it with like Damien, with like to say Damien, with like Nightwing, Dick, and all that, Dick Grayson, and all that good stuff. Then like
yeah,
here's one where like he's literally trying. Dick, Jason, Tim, they all were fatherless and they needed someone there. Damien, he has that too, but he always knew where he was, kind of
Yeah.
situation. Like,
Hmm.
dude, I've been raised by assassins. I've been trained to kill. I'm ready for this. Let me do this. And Batman's like, no, man, just chill. Like, just enjoy your life. You're a kid. Let's play
Yeah.
some ball, son. You play some basketball. Come on,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. That's one of the things I always remember about this movie because like it was like one of the nicest touching scenes, and the fact that Damien like goes behind his back. People say like, oh, you just ruined the scene. Like, no, but that's what Damien is.
Hmm.
He can have these fun stuff, but at the same time, he's an assassin.
Yeah.
He's trying to kill. He's known that all his life. He's gonna take.
He's
It's not gonna happen overnight because
he's
you
he,
got.
he's still that adolescent. He's still that adolescent.
Mhm.
That coming, yeah, that adolescent coming of age character that's like really trying to discover himself, so to speak.
I
And
wouldn't say that. I would say like he's
he's still
still
trying to
trying to.
figure himself out, I would say.
No, I wouldn't say that. He knows who he
Yeah.
is. He's trying to cope with a different environment.
Yeah.
It's like I would say think of it this way: you're a trained killer, and this is the first time in your life where you can just be at peace.
Yeah.
You don't got to kill. You don't got to go do all this other stuff. You can just like sit there, enjoy your cup of tea, and just watch the sunrise. That's it.
Yep.
But of course, you hear a little creak coming behind, you're really to throw that ninja star at somebody
Hmm.
because you're so used to the kill. That's
Yeah.
basically Damien's storyline in this movie.
I'd say that I give this film probably I give it I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Just mainly
I'm with
because,
you on that. It's
yeah,
it's a
I
7.
7 out of 10, just because compared to the first, when we first were introduced to Damien in what was it Son of Batman. Yeah, when we were first introduced to Damien, like, I felt like there was him was it Damien as a character was able to not only develop more, but also we were able to see that, okay, yes, like like what you mentioned, Eli, even with a trained killer, a trained assassin, just only known and taught to kill, but at least knowing that, okay, he can kind of learn and kind of adapt to an environment to where, like, it's not always that. It's not always you're given a target to kill. It's you can learn to live a normal life too when you're not donning the
Yeah,
outfit. Yeah, the
yeah.
cape. When you're not donning the cape, you can still have a life outside of it. And that was kind of like an eye opener to Damien, so to speak. So
Sadly, because of the influence of the situation with the Court of Owls, he probably needs more time because at the end of
mhm.
this movie, him and Batman and Damien kind of separate for a while.
Yeah.
He needs his time,
Hmm.
which leads into another Batman sequel, which already is going to tell you some of the big problems I have with this whole cinematic universe that they did. But we'll get to that to another day. That
Yeah.
Batman Bad Blood. Clearly, Batman likes Taylor Swift.
I'm sorry, one more time.
I said clearly, Batman is a Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he he's gonna tell from the name. Personally, I like ideas of this movie. I
Hmm.
do not like ideas of others.
Okay.
So, I mean, essentially, Batman goes missing.
Yep.
Damien and Dick have to come together, work together, see how this is all going to work out for them, and see where everything could lead back to where maybe Batman is up, and also Damien's mom is back, Talia al Ghul, and they're up to stuff.
Yep.
And well, what else can I talk? What else can I say about this movie?
We're
Um,
introduced to some new characters. Yeah.
oh, that's right. We are introduced to
Specifically
Batwoman.
two characters. Yeah.
Yeah, Batwoman, and I'm forgetting his name.
Batwing. Well,
Batwing.
basically, yeah, basically Batwing, but I forgot the actual
Dude's
character's
name.
name. Yeah. I forgot the dude's
He's Lucius
name.
Fox's son.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember.
Hmm.
But no, I mean it makes sense that it's Lucius Fox's son.
Yep.
And no, that's the wrong name. Let's see, Luke Fox.
Yep.
So yeah, it's the introduction of them and sort of the situation that we had, the leftover situation of the League of Assassins that we've been established with since all the way since Son of Batman. Because Talia's back, she's basically mind manipulated Batman to do her bidding,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and essentially now it's a battle between getting Batman back to where he was.
Yep.
So yeah, hold on, give me a
Mm-hmm.
second. And now we talk about some of my issues with this movie.
Mm.
I think it's okay. Personally, I feel like it's
Yeah.
okay. I just feel like they underutilized Batwoman and Batwing very much
I agree. Yeah.
because there's really not much for us to talk about them because they only show up every once in a while. We know who Batwoman is for a little bit, but sort of stuff just kind of happens to her.
Yeah. I feel like with what do you call it? Let me open this up real quick here. Da, 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 da. Oh, and then apparently there's this new, I think, very minor villain by the name of Heretic, who's basic.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh no!
Heretic.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about Heretic.
Heretic was basically a roided out version of Damien. So basically a clone, but imagine if
So
he was roided out like
actually,
Bane.
he had a bigger role in the book.
Yeah, but basically Heretic's role in in the film was more or less like, okay, he was tasked to capture and bring back Damien to Talia, bring him back to Talia. So kind of like Talia can, I don't know, I guess turn wanted to, from my understanding, I believe Talia wanted to turn Damien into like the perfect soldier or the perfect weapon, something within those lines.
Something along those lines. I don't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, and although Heretic is this big, and again this big like enforcer, but he still has that like the childish like impulse in his mind where he wants to be loved by Talia, because yes, he was a clone, but he was you know birthed, so to speak, by Talia. And he says, "Oh, why don't what I want to feel loved too, just like how you love this boy right here." Kind of
Yeah,
deal. So even though, yeah, again, even though Heretic is this, like I said, he's this big enforcer, but he still wants to feel tendered and
well, and
loved,
the thing
like
is that
he's
he's
a
a
child.
clone, and he knows that he's a clone. And he knows that his mother isn't going to love him as much as his
As
real
much as
son.
Damon, yeah.
He's like, I'm basically your son. How come I don't get
As
the
I don't
attention?
get I don't get the attention, I don't get the love like you give to
Yeah.
Damien.
By the way, they changed the design a bit in the movie. They give him more of
Yeah.
an adult face, while in the
Uh
the comics
huh.
was a very baby faced.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
lovely.
I was always thought that was weird, and I'm kind of glad they did change
Love.
that.
That's gonna keep you up at night. Thanks, dude.
I
Jesus.
mean, comics.
Yeah.
They did like underutilize him a lot because
Yeah.
as I recall in the books, he was a more important um had a more of an important role and
Yeah.
had a bigger stuff going on with Batman.
Oh
There's
no.
only a
Yeah.
few times where I think they adapted the book but changed a
hmm
lot on it. That then again, it's I mean I remember watching it, I thought that was okay.
then yeah, but then again, it's like more of, actually scratch that. They, like you said, he's like, uh he seems to have a more significant role in the comics, but in the movies, it was just a couple of lines here and there, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's yeah, they basically one offed him easily, easily one offed
You know
him.
what hurts? He was being voiced by one of my favorite voice actors too, Travis
Uh,
Willingham.
what's up?
Travis Willingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like one of my favorite guys because he's so like he's
Is
got
it
that
not?
big bombastic voice kind of stuff,
Is
and
it
I like
not?
him a lot. He's Roy Mustang in Full Metal.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that Roy Mustang, and then also, I don't know if it's the same actor or different actor who did. Alucard and then Winston in Overwatch. I don't know if it's the same guy or not. I feel like it is,
No,
but
two different
it's
guys.
okay. Two different guys. Never mind. But
That's
okay,
Crispin
yeah,
Freeman, dude.
Crispin Freeman. Yeah, I thought I initially thought it was him, but when I looked it up, it was like, oh yeah, it's the voice actor behind Roy Mustang.
Well, Travis Willingham's currently doing a lot of the Thor voices for cartoons and games.
That makes sense as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
no, it's such an underly. I mean, it's weird because they were kind of hyping him up to be more important until he
Mm-hmm.
like gets his head capped off.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then towards the end, of course, typical fashion where they eventually meet up with Talia. They basically talk to Batman, try to convince him, say, "Hey, you're the one who brought us together. You're the reason why we are who we are today." And that apparently that was
Funny
enough
thing is, that only works for two out of the four characters we're introduced to.
that snapped Batman out of control. And then yeah, that was it.
There,
They
well, there was a bit of a fight back, but
Yeah, in classic Batman fashion, there was struggle, conflict, and everything. And eventually, I did not know this, but I did not know there was an after credit scene for this movie. Well, I
yeah,
didn't know
that
if there
shows
was.
off Batgirl.
But I didn't. Probably, I'm gonna probably have to rewatch that again because I do not remember that. Yeah, because I'm reading the week.
She just shows up and then just
Just shows up and that's it. But yeah, she does. But
grappling hook
yeah,
swings away.
she doesn't have a non-speaking role.
Yeah,
It's just a cameo. That's it.
she don't talk.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
essentially, yeah, that's how.
But in her Burnside costume, yeah.
The only cool thing I remember is seeing Alfred box box Mad Hatter,
Oh yeah.
which led to like a horrific death. Jesus Christ!
What in
Mad
where?
Hatter's head blew up.
What in the comic?
No, in the movie, Mad Hatter's head blew off.
Mad
You don't see
Hatter.
it, but you know what happened.
Wait, hold on. Alfred was boxing Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Was Mad Hatter in the movie?
Yeah. He was a dude. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Like,
Dude,
are you?
come on now.
Hold on. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I feel like it was Riddler.
He was the guy who.
No. Riddler was in Suicide Squad. Never mind.
He was the guy who was in control of not the. He was the one who was doing all the cloning stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, his head got blown off.
Probably gonna have to rewatch. Yeah, I'll probably have to rewatch it again.
He doesn't look as goofy as he does in the
the original in the comics or the original animated series. Yeah.
Yeah, they give him more of an updated look kind of thing.
I will have to rewatch. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I remember the scene now. Yeah, I remember the scene.
Yeah, his head got blown up.
Wait, hold on. Is Tetch and Mad Hatter the same character or no?
Who?
That I think he goes by the name Thaddeus Tetch or whatever. Or
Thaddeus Tetch.
I don't know. Like I feel like it's the same guy though. But like Mad Hatter is like okay, it makes sense.
Mad Hatter's a dude who's like basically like Mad Hatter in the book because some girl didn't like him.
Obviously, the main inspiration was the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
but
that's what I just said.
Yeah, that's the main influence. Thaddeus Tetch or I don't know, like Thatch, yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
I'm getting a Disney character right now.
I don't know if he's in DC or not. Like I keep hearing that name. I don't know. Thaddeus Thatch. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But
I think you're thinking of another character.
Probably, yeah.
The only Thaddeus I get is Thaddeus Savannah. Which is Dr. Savannah, the bad guy from
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah, that's not him. Anywho, sorry, it was getting a little like
you're not that much about comics. We forget you.
I was getting that. I was trying to link stuff together, but yeah.
Like
overall rating.
Fine.
Yeah.
We forgive you.
Yeah. Overall rating of Bad Blood for you, Eli.
I give it a 6.
Give it a 6.
Yeah, because it felt like there was a lot of underutilized characters in that, and like they were fine, but it just like it wasn't as memorable. It just feels like we just need to like wrap up what happened in the last movie.
Mm-hmm. I'd
That's basically what
say,
happened. This
yeah,
advanced
yeah.
to versus.
Mm-hmm. I'd say, yeah, I'd probably give it a 6 as well, just because, what you call it? Yeah, I give it a 6 because, just because, what do you call it? I said that twice. Ha. Again, like what you mentioned, a lot of the characters were underutilized, and I felt like just they probably should have more screen time so that we honestly get to know the characters better, because again, Batwing and Batwoman, because Batgirl is already Batgirl, but now there's Batwoman, so there's a
Yeah,
completely
if you never read a comic, you don't know who the hell Batwoman is.
exactly. So
All you know
I
is that she got her training from her dad, who was an army guy.
yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Batwing is Lucius Fox's son.
Yeah, who is like, I guess is like a weapons tech developer for Wayne Tech or something like that.
Well, he's the guy who's in charge of all the tech,
Yeah.
like all the stuff that Batman has.
Oh, it was because of
He
Lucius
gets
Fox.
from
Yeah.
him.
Hmm.
Also, he works for Batman too. So
Yeah.
as Bruce Wayne, he works with Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
So it makes sense that they are together.
Okay. And we're
Still
coming
awesome that he's played
towards
by
the.
Morgan Freeman.
That is also true. Yes.
That's cool.
We are coming towards the end of our list. We have arrived at the finish line, ending it off with Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Yep.
So, essentially, Justice League versus Teen Titans. I mean, it implies, as in the name, eventually the Justice League and the Teen Titans clash, but not in the fashion of what you expect. So, the Teen Titans
Yeah,
team,
they're not doing the classic comic book fight. Oh, we thought you were the bad guys the whole time. Oh, let's team up to fight the good guy. It's about the
yeah,
actual bad guy.
it's more of like, so, before we
Well,
start things
actually, if you
off,
think about it, Kelvin, it would probably to expect someone got mind controlled.
so to speak. But before we
No, they
start,
didn't
but
get mind control.
yeah, they did. But before we dive right into it, our Titans that are in this were initially introduced as Dick Grayson's Robin, Bumblebee, Beast Boy, Kid
Oh no,
Flash.
that happened in the other one.
No, it wasn't this one.
No, it wasn't the other one.
Okay. That scratch that for next time. But this particular team, that we eventually get to see grow and whatnot. It'd be Beast Boy, Beast Boy, Blue Beetle, Raven, what you call it, Damian Wayne, and Starfire and Nightwing. Yes,
Yep.
I believe that's it. And no, she comes in. I was gonna say one more, but she comes in like later in the later
Still at the
films.
end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so basically, we do have a team that's established, or we do have kind of like an established like team already, which is the Teen Titans in this case, and they they don't realize that the kind of like the hidden power that Raven kind of has slash trapped inside of the gem that's in her head is basically her father Trigon.
Yeah, because
Basically,
she's literally a demon.
literally hell on earth. Yeah.
Well, no, not
So,
hell on earth. She's literally like
oh,
incapable.
a demon. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we
If he
kind
comes
of
out, then it's hell on earth.
we kind of I believe we kind of know I would think just a tiny bit of an origin for Raven. How like her mother was part of her mother was part of a cult, but then eventually she joins the Order of Azeroth, and but her father eventually finds her mother, completely wipes out the Order of Azeroth, and is now left, and is now left just the Raven herself. Um,
Mm.
and basically, in classic
Now, my father,
fashion,
you mean the father of Raven's mother or her dad? Dad, Raven's
uh,
dad.
like Trigon being
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You gotta make sure you're clear on that.
oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Trigon is had a relationship with Raven's mother. Obviously,
Very
clearly
forceful one.
very forced. Clearly didn't work out, so went off on her own, and again joined the Azeroth. Joined an order to
Mm-hmm.
get cleansed, so to speak. What order was eventually wiped out, and fast forwarding to modern day, Trigon, is released and possesses the
Superman.
the Justice League. Yeah, possesses the league, except for Batman, which in good old fashion, I was at Bane Venom out. Like, so he's pretty much out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's now the League versus the Titans in
Mm-hmm.
this huge clash.
Which I think you're forgetting one important notion is that this is the first time, like I said earlier, this is the first time, Damian Wayne kind of got in the way of the Justice League. And so
yeah.
Batman convinced Nightwing to make Damian part of the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we see, Damian interacting with kids his own age.
Yep.
Because this is
Yes.
one of the probably one of the best moments is when like when Beast Boy and Damian are doing that dance off on the Dance Dance Revolution times 2000 whatever.
yeah.
Listen, I never liked Dance Dance Revolution because I'm like I don't care. But like seeing those two play in a big screen around where like there's a huge amount of people, I'm like, that's not how it works. Unless you start doing some cool breakdancing moves out of nowhere.
yeah.
I mean, that's how it works. But no,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the few times we see them see Damien sort of be normal.
Yeah.
It's a very important moment for his
Mm-hmm.
character.
For sure. Yeah.
And I'm surprised we didn't talk about this earlier, but Superman and Wonder Woman are a thing. Were a thing in this movie.
Apparently they're a thing. I honestly thought it was gonna be the whole, Superman Lois Lane, but apparently not. They
Well, you got to
are
remember, Kelvin, this is based off the New 52, in
true.
which Superman and Wonder Woman were in a relationship. Also, Lois Lane kind of outed him as Superman.
Ah.
Yeah,
Mm.
because she's a reporter, she's got to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. One
Pretty
of these
much.
days, Calvin, I'm going to make you read Doomsday Clock, and we'll see, and we'll talk about that book. But no, because listen, it ties up to New 52, and it's
yeah.
but no, essentially, yeah, because of all this stuff, eventually, because Superman being possessed by Trigon, and eventually the rest of the League,
Except for
we gotta
Batman.
fight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We gotta fight,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
All things considered. Funny enough, Cyborg was another one who didn't get mind controlled.
He didn't. No, he did not.
And we get a little bit of like the classic Teen Titans from the TV show. If you think about it,
Yeah.
we got the Beast Boy, we got the Raven, we got the Cyborg, we got the Starfire, and we got two Robins for the price of one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice little and like nice little Easter egg there.
Yeah.
And it's up to Damian and his team to go in and save Raven, who's in the middle of letting out her evil dad out into the world.
Demonic father. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, her satanic dad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of fights going on, and eventually they are able to release Superman. And listen, Superman gets the whole league. That's fun.
Wait, Superman gets the what?
Superman gets the whole league.
Yeah. That's so.
You,
No. I know. I'm just picturing it right now. I'm like, yeah.
listen, it's a lot more cooler than the one that happened in the Justice League movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I always find it funny how he beats the Flash. He just like breaks his legs.
Crack, and that's it.
No, it's more like I'm gonna trip him, and my feet are like made of steel basically. So he's tripping over basically a huge metal pole. Going his fast, he's gonna break his legs.
Yeah,
and he did. I'm like, holy shit!
Broke his legs.
He's like, motherfucker, what'd you do that? Oh, you'll heal. You don't be worried about it.
Yeah,
like it still hurts. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
and then yeah. Essentially, it's a great scene where all of the heroes come together,
mm-hmm.
Able to beat good old Trigon and put him back in his little prison.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is Raven's head, jewel on her head. Yeah,
yeah, which she didn't have in the beginning. She had it towards the end.
Towards the end, yes.
How? Because he was coming out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It makes it easier for her to control, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically about it. It's just like a nice little. It's basically Damian finally finding a place to be with and being able to be normal, and all that stuff, and basically that's a nice way to include all the Justice League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Too. It was a nice little. It's one of the things where this is all one universe because like all the stuff that happened with Damian is like now being part, and it's now coming in with the whole stuff that's going on with the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
and you can see how it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure.
Well, so what are your thoughts on this movie, Kelvin?
I thought this was a nice I thought this was a nice end, not end, but just a nice what's the word I'm looking for?
You
Uh
want to say end because this is the end of this converse, this half of the stuff we're talking about, don't you?
I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, technically yes, but also this is a nice midway point to where, now, because I mean, we've been talking about, like some of the other movies so far, right? But the ones we really went into with the majority of them, of course, being Batman films, but the real focus for today's episode was on Damien, because he went from the little shit where we all hate to where, oh, Damien actually can learn, and he can actually adapt, and
He's an actual character
he's an actual
who
character, and he has
yeah.
some, yeah,
So there's
and he
yeah,
has some sense of humanity, and we know that now. Like, it is possible for Damien to be a human. It is possible for Damien to be your typical average, like, kid to teenager to, eventual adult that he becomes. So
well,
it's a good midway
yeah,
stopping point. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's a good way to bring it's a good like way to introduce all the characters that we've established coming together for
Hmm.
something. Like, well, not
Yeah.
something like makes you feel more that this is an established world that you can see these characters sort of coming together,
Hmm.
kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, personally, for me, I think it's a fine movie. I don't think it's the best one out of all of them.
Yeah.
But for me, I'll probably just give it a good old 7. It's a solid movie. It just really drags in certain areas, somewhere in the beginning and somewhere towards the end. It feels very draggy, but some
Hmm.
stuff really shines out. Like I said earlier, like Damien just being able to be a kid. So that's probably
Yeah.
why I give it a 7.
For sure. I'd also give it a solid 7 as well.
Mhm.
Again, just cause, just because I mentioned before, it we really discussed a lot about Damien, and kind of how his character developed all the time. His maturity really grew. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
how his maturity really grew, and I am
I mean, I'll say
intrigued.
this: we tend to shit on characters who are angsty and all that stuff, but that's because like we tend to forget we were angsty at some point too.
I remember that period. Oh, good lord.
Yeah, and then we immediately just hate or like just rather not relate to that character because
Yeah.
we forget about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But you can't. But you
Damien is
can't. But you
angsty.
can't help your. But you can't help yourself. It's like, damn. This character is so, like. Why do I relate to this character? It's like you don't want to, but
Yeah, it's
it
like
just
one of those things where
happens.
like, hey, I get why Sasuke is angsty. I totally understand it. Actually makes sense why he's like that.
Yeah.
Just don't hold on to that too damn long, or
Mm-hmm.
else we'll get annoyed by it.
Yep.
And it's one of the good things I like about Damien, and specifically in this iteration and this way they establish him. He starts off as a very angsty, very like spoiled kid, but that's because he's been raised to be this way. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, you will be the next leader of the League of Assassins. You're gonna be this, and that, and then all that's taken away, and he's like, nah, man, I'm a badass motherfucker. He
Yep.
is, but like we're like we don't want to. We'd rather him be relatable than actually be us the character he's established to be. But
Mm-hmm.
no, um,
Yep.
but this is what I'm saying. We're slowly getting. He's still kind of a entitled character, but he's reasonable. He's likable. He has friends that show off that he has a little bit of humanity in him, as you
Yeah.
said. And
Mm-hmm.
then we get into some good stuff with him.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, that wraps up our episode for today. We got a good time in. Yeah. We got a
Yeah,
we got a
we did
good
good.
run in for today's episode. And
Considering how these are just 7 movies of 15,
yep. And
wait for the next one. Jesus
this is
Christ.
the only first half of many films to come.
Yeah,
Uh
most of these
yeah.
start getting a little
It starts.
yeah, it
Yeah.
starts to get a little more complicated and a little more, in my opinion, not worse, but like, all right, let's get through this. I have issues. I have a
Yeah.
lot of issues.
Yeah. So yeah, that pretty excuse me. Yeah, this wraps up our episode for today. And
Mhm.
thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And
There will be a part 2, we promise, and it'll be here
yes,
soon.
there will be a part two to this. And to listen to us, you can check us out on anywhere where podcasts can be heard, streamed, downloaded. podcast. Was it? Yeah, I said podcast. iTunes, Spotify, and if you're on the iTunes, slap us that 5 star review. Google Podcast, Castbox, Pandora. Again, anywhere where podcasts can be heard, streamed, downloaded, and for our visual watchers, you can subscribe to us on YouTube.
For anyone who wants to watch the video version of
Yes,
this
we've been starting to do a little like not series, but like kind of like a whole Geek Centurions previews to where, like, let's say you want to get a glimpse of our upcoming episode, you can check us out on our Instagram where we have those uploaded on our IGTV, and of course we aside from that we also have Facebook and Twitter as well. For our video watchers, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, like the video, comment, tell us what you think on today's episode, and as always, leave comments below in which you may which topic in which topic you want us to talk about next, and we'll probably make that into an episode, and again, share with your friends, family, and as always, and last but not least, our Patreon page is still, I know it's a little bone dry, but it is still active, it is still going, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. I know times are tough right now, but any contribution would greatly be appreciated, as always. And yeah, this has been the Geek Centurions with your boy Kelvin.
And it's been your boy Eli. We enjoy having you guys listening to us. Let us know how we're doing. If we can do anything to improve everything, we always try to make sure everything's to the best of our abilities, good quality content.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be some really good conversation or just laid back ones like the one we have right here.
Yeah.
But Kelvin said it best. We're always here trying to get better and always here to take your suggestions.
Yep.
All right.
Take care, guys. Bye.